Back with you, America. Bill Martinez here. Great to have you with us, sharing a part of your day. For more info on the show, BillMartinezLive.com. Jake Lang is with us, the J6 Patriot, live from prison, I guess, right?
Live from my prison cell, Bill. Today is day 1,342 that I've been held by the Biden and Kamala Harris regime, the two-tier Department of Justice tyrants, for 1,342 days without a trial, Bill.
Unbelievable, Jake. Not only you, but hundreds of other J6'ers as well in a similar predicament as you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have an entire class of people that has been persecuted, 1,500 people, bigger than some small town, bigger than my town that I grew up in.
Mhm.
Christians, patriots, conservatives, and all of us Trump supporters showed up at the Capitol to protest the stolen election, use our redress of grievance, um, and exercise our rights as Americans. And we were brutalized and beaten by the Capitol Police. Nancy Pelosi sicked her stormtroopers on us, and some of us, even four of us, lost our lives that day, Bill. And so, we're dealing with the repercussions of, their coup d'etat 4 years later, and they're using us as a political chess piece to try to, say Donald Trump can't be president again because of, January 6th.
Mhm.
And it's such a dirty, weaponized, politicized game that they're playing with human lives here. I mean, you have people's
Exactly.
lives destroyed.
Well, and the thing is, you're likened to what they use. You're a threat. You're a threat to democracy. And you're a threat to democracy because you exercised your constitutional right. Now, I get that people want to say, well, but look at the damage, look at what happened, force their way on Capitol grounds. And of course, that's all debatable because we see on the video, which has been scrutinized, and we haven't gotten a full release. Everybody's not been able to see all that's on the video. But what we've seen, we saw Capitol Police inviting J6'ers to come in like a self guided tour. And even those patriots were subject to arrest, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you have these multiple levels of what happened that day, and at the very most innocent level, even those like grandmas that were walking in between, the two red little
Stanchions, yeah,
lines.
right. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, and then you have people like me that were, forced to make very tough decisions on whether to just sit idly by while, these armed thugs, the Capitol Police Department that hates Donald Trump, and they're liberal. They're not America's sheriffs coming to get your cat out of a tree. These are
Right.
a bubble of political, basically peons for Nancy Pelosi, and they were, riled up before January 6th. Like, there's about to be a bunch of out of towners, a bunch of flyover state Trump supporters here, and you guys can, get your pound of flesh if you rile them up. So people like myself had to defend my own life and the lives of the people around me. And even, God rest her soul, Roseanne Boylan died, virtually in my arms, which, a lot of America is now hearing about that because just last week, Marjorie Taylor Greene had another hearing named Cruel and Unusual, talking about the treatment of January 6ers and how we even got here. And they talked extensively about the cover up of Roseanne Boylan's murder, the fact that the coroner's office said that she died of an Adderall overdose. She would have taken 2.5 full bottles of Adderall, 75 pills. Who does that? We watched her with our own eyes be beaten to death. So the truth's coming to light, and it's right
Well,
on time.
and that's the problem, Jake. So much of what happened on J6 is blanketed in lies and deception. We saw a video clip here last month of Nancy Pelosi. This was done by her daughter. It caught her on video saying, I'm responsible. I did this. Well, of course, the J6 committee wanted nothing to do with that. That just came out by accident, or like anything that comes from the Democratic Party, you wonder, okay, what are they playing? What kind of game are they playing here? But she did admit that she was responsible for the chaos that took place. But there's a lot more to it, and you touched on this psychologically, and that was the mindset of the Capitol Police. Maybe not the Capitol Police so much as maybe some of the other police that were brought in from D.C. and their attitude towards the J6'ers was that you were less than human. I mean, the way they even tried to disperse the crowd was not even according to protocol. They were shooting munitions and gas bullets in the upper body. They were not shooting them to the feet, which all the experts will tell you. If you want to disperse the crowd, there's ways in which you do that so that you don't anger them. But what they did was incite and exacerbate the protest even more so, didn't they?
Yes, I mean their actions that day were at best reckless, and at worst some type of planned malfeasance to try to incite the crowd to make this, optical illusion that Donald Trump and conservatives are extremists. And
Mhm.
this was a pre-orchestrated event that we are now uncovering more and more and more, and it's at the perfect time because this has become an election issue. You heard about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris kind of going tit for tat on the stage during the debate about January 6th. She was trying to say it was some type of domestic extremist event. And he said, whoa, 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 whoa. 4 Jan 6'ers lost their life. Ashley Babbitt's murderer has never been brought, before any type of
Exactly.
court proceeding. Officer Michael Byrd murdered Ashley Babbitt in cold blood, and Roseanne Boylan's never even been named her murderer in public, which is Officer Lila Morris contributed heavily to her death by beating her with that stick while she lay on the ground. But so this has become an emotional issue that really has a lot of strength, I believe, for the Republican Party in this race, because the same way that Democrats get incredibly emotionally attached to abortion and they go out and they vote as single issue
Mhm.
voters on that,
Right.
we as, I mean, just common sense voters can go out and say, Jake Lang's been in prison for 4 years without a trial. The January 6'ers have been abused and mistreated. They can't get justice. They've been denied due process. We want to vote for Donald Trump, even if it's just one reason. I have plenty of people in my community saying there's just one reason, just because we can't have political prisoners in this country. We can't normalize throwing political dissidents and political opponents in prison and torturing them. Then we turn into a banana republic.
Right. Well, and this is the thing, even the White House, Karine Jean-Pierre had associated threat with Donald Trump, just as Kamala Harris said, as you pointed out. And of course, this language that has been heightened and hyperbolized, if I might use that word, has been the predicate to 2 assassination attempts of the former president.
Yeah, I mean, this is the outcome. Words and actions and deeds have consequences. You learn that in prison very quickly, what to say and how to say it to people, because you're in an environment, with dangerous people. And people forget that there are dangerous people out there in this world that are willing to move upon, emotional whims. And when, you get Kathy Griffin holding up, the severed head of
Yeah,
Donald Trump
exactly.
in some type
Right.
of political skit, you know what I mean? You're creating an environment that is dangerous. And it's probably very ironic. Some people may say, to hear that coming from a January 6'er who put my life on the line to defend this country on January 6th. But there is there is actions that are deemed dutiful by the Constitution to defend this republic versus tyranny, and then plain reckless behavior, talking about trying to turn our politics, unnecessarily violent and about hatefulness and division. And so these are two most certainly different things. I know what healthy public discourse looks like, and I know that also our 1776 patriot founding fathers were at same times extremely civil gentlemen, but they knew when to obviously stand up for their rights and put the full measure down. So they had both sides to them.
Well, Jake, you and so many of the other J6'ers have been held incarcerated for well over 1,000 days, which is unconscionable. And and the thing is, you have Merrick Garland saying that the Justice Department is not going to be weaponized, but for all the cases there, the J6 Patriots, you have felt the weaponization of the Justice Department by keeping you incarcerated without a hearing, without due process.
100%. And so nice to be with you, Bill, because we've talked so many times in the past, but now it's the first time we get to be face to face by
Exactly.
God's grace. You know, we're at the end game here. We're pushing hard for the election and talking about this extended wrongful incarceration. A new legal group that I have formed with some amazing partners of mine called Federal Watchdog. It's poised to be kind of like a new judicial
Oh, good.
watch type of lawsuit, heavily. We're yes, Federal Watchdog, fedwatchdog.org. If you guys want to learn more about it, Federal
Fedwatchdog.org.
Watchdog is
Okay. All
going to
right.
be fun.
Okay.
Yes, fedwatchdog.org. This is going to be big, guys. We have a $500 million lawsuit for the wrongful incarceration of over 100 January 6'ers, stemming from the Supreme Court when they overturned the 1512 obstruction of Congress charge. I've got dozens of my friends that only had 3 misdemeanor charges, and then they got hit with the felony, 20-year felony obstruction of Congress, and they had to sit for years in prison, either waiting for trial or they got a trial and they got back onto their prison sentence. And by the time this thing was adjudicated in the Supreme Court, they already
Right.
done 1, 2, 3 years extra in
Unbelievable.
prison. And
Well,
so that is a
yeah,
huge grievous injury. And so we have to sue
without a doubt.
to
Well,
get our
Jake,
rights back. So this is
we got to
the
leave. We got to leave it there. We're out of time. Look forward to staying in touch and reconnecting again. Watch fedwatchdog.org is the address that everybody needs to know, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bill, so much. God bless you, brother.
God bless you. Take care. Great job, pal. All right, stay in touch. We'll circle back here in a couple weeks and get an update from you, okay?
Of course, 100%.
Okay. Take care, man.
Thank you,
God
Bill.
bless. All righty. Bye-bye.